Duke qenë se Preševo është një vend i vogël me një numër të vogël popullatës, kur refugjatët erdhën në Prešev, ishte shumë s'po e gjej fjalën.
Besoj se ja kemi arritur qëllimin, ndoshta me kushte minimale të mundshme, por aq që edhe ne kishim mundësi.
Edhe familjet tona para 20 viteve kanë qenë refugjat dhe kanë përballuar të njëjtën situatë se me refugjatët e Sirisë që kanë ardhur në qytetin tonë.
Ka qenë një kënaqësi dhe eksperiencë e papërshkrueshme.
Fillimisht puna filloi në atë zonë para stacionit policor ku respektivisht ishin të pozicionuar refugjatët para se të fillonin të vinin organizatat ndryshme ndërkombëtare nga bota në Prešev. Neve si vullnetar fillimisht ishim të gatshëm që të kontribuonim përmes mënyrës tonë në atë zonë dhe pastaj momentin që u bëm dhe aktivist të organizatave të ndryshme, ishim të ndarë gati në 3 pika në Prešev, në kampin kryesor kur ishte, dhe në pikën kufitare mes Macedonisë dhe Serbisë në Tabanoc dhe në pikën tjetër që ishte në fshatin Miratoc. Unë faktikisht isha i pozicionuar në fshatin Miratoc. Puna jonë aty ishte që të prisnim refugjatët, t'i veshnim ata, t'i udhëzonim me autobusa që shkonin në kampin kryesor Preševës dhe në një mënyrë t'i informonim për gjitha ndihmat që ju ofronin atyre në kampin Prešev. Parafërsisht në pikën ku kam qenë unë, kemi qenë diku 10 deri në 12 aktivist apo vullnetar të ndryshëm.
Ne me refugjatët pasi që ata kanë pas një periudhë të gjatë që kanë ndejtë këto, ne jemi munduar që t'i shërcrojmë ata në shkollat tona, kemi shkuar në shkollat tona dhe kemi bërë njohjen me shumë njerëz, do të thotë që janë njoftuar me njerëz, me profesor dhe e kam parë se si ne mësojmë në për shkollat tona, pastaj prap ne jemi munduar që t'i marrim ata në qytetin tonë dhe të shohin se si është jeta në qytetin tonë, kultura dhe socializimi.
Fillimisht kemi qenë jashtë kampit, ku i kemi prit, i kemi ndihmu që të presin ratë, që të futen para njerëz që kanë pas nevojë, më shumë gratë shtatzana, njerëzit e moshuar, dikush që ka pas këmbën e lënduar ose gjëra të tilla. Pastaj jemi futur edhe brenda në kamp, ku brenda kampit kemi hap një kafene ku refugjatët kanë ardhur, kanë lexuar libra, i kemi shërby me çaj, me gjëra të ngrohta, sepse ka qenë një periudhë shumë e ftohtë.
Aktiviteti jonë, domethënë, kryesisht ishte i bazuar tek informatat në lidhje me hapat dhe rregulloren që duhet të ndjekin për të vazhduar rrugën e tyre, ku edhe ishte synimi i tyre për të shkuar. Dhe merreshim domethënë me gjëra të ndryshme, me veshmbathje, me gjëra ushqimore, me aktivitete të lira sportive. Ndonjëherë kishte raste kur edhe dilshim për të shëtitur nëpër qytet, për të ngrënë ose për të pirë diçka. Pra qëllimi jon ishte sa më shumë të jemi të afërt me ata, të mos e ndihen veten se janë vetëm, pasi që ishte një situatë shumë e rëndë për ta, kishte domethënë njerëz që kishin humbur familjarët e tyre gjatë rrugtimit. Ishte një situatë vërtet shumë e rëndë për ta dhe ishte domosdoshme shoqërimi sa më i madh me ta.
Gjatë asaj kohë sa kemi qenë aty, numri i refugjatëve ka qenë nga, mundem them, nga 2000 deri në 5000 dhe në ndërkohë u rrit dhe numri i refugjatëve ku 10.000 veta kaluan çdo ditë në atë vend. Çdo shqiptar i asaj zone pak a shumë e ka përjetuar në një farë mënyrë emigrantin në vende tjera të botës. Pas asaj kohe filloi dhe interesimi i aktivistëve të ndryshëm ndërkombëtar, ku numri i aktivistëve në Preševo arriti deri në 400 veta. Për neve ishte një ndihmë shumë e madhe për arsye edhe të shpërndanim kulturën dhe ndihmën tonë në mënyrën të ndryshme dhe të mësonim nga pjesa e tjetër e aktivistëve që vinin nga bota.
Bërëm disa gjëra domethënë që ishin diçka minimale për një qëndrim të shkurtër dhe besoj se ja kemi arritur qëllimin, ndoshta me kushte minimale të mundshme, por aq që edhe ne kishim mundësi.
Kjo periudhë ka zgjatë diku rreth 1 vit e gjysmë, ku kemi qenë organizatat ndryshme me aktivistat ndryshëm, përafërsisht nga 10 veta, 12 veta, ku secili e ka pas rolin e vet edhe punën e vet. I kemi ndihmu edhe me gjëra ushqimore, edhe me veshmbathje, me ilaçe, me gjitha gjërat që ata kanë pas nevojë.
Motivi ose arsyeja më e madhe që ne ju kemi ndihmuar atyre ose jemi shoqëruar me ta është se edhe familjet tona para 20 viteve kanë qenë refugjat dhe kanë përballuar të njëjtën situatë se me refugjatët e Sirisë që kanë ardhur në qytetin tonë dhe jemi munduar në mënyrë më të mirë që të ndihen si në shtëpinë e vet dhe kjo është arsyeja dhe motivi më i madh që ne kemi qenë të afërt me ata.
Po ajo zgjati dikun rreth 1 muaj nëse nuk gaboj kriza më e madhe, domethënë që ishin të stacionuar domethënë te kjo pjesa këtu që dokumentet e tyre për të vazhduar rrugën drejt Evropës patjetër e kishin t'i merrnin këtu tek policia. Pra mendoj se dikun rreth 1 muaj, por ishte një krizë jashtëzakonisht shumë e madhe. Ishte një katastrofë e vërtet, mungesë të ushqimeve, mungesë të banave, pasi kishte shumë që kishin udhëtuar me kilometra në këmbë. Me këmbë të lënduara, nuk mundin të esnin. Ishte diçka një tmerr që përjetonim dhe ndjenjëm vetë ne, pasi kishim kaluar diku 20 vite më parë të njëjtën gjë sikur ata. Dhe vërtet ishte vështirë. Po pastaj pas aktivizimit tim vullnetar, domethënë te kjo pjesa këtu që ishte në qytet brenda Preševës, pastaj vazhdova në fshatin Miratoc, ku atje me shumë shok dhe shoqe vazhduam rrugën tonë që kishim nisur, edhe për rreth 6 muaj të tjerë. Organizuam domethënë bartjen e tyre nga fshati Miratoc, domethënë nga vendi ku ishte zonë kufitare, për t'i bartur deri tek në Prešev. Dhe kështu vazhduam.
Me qenë se Preševo është një zonë me një popullat ku numri është shumë i vogël, ardha e refugjatëve ishte shumë surprizuese për ne. Aty ku unë jetoja, para lagjës time, është edhe stacioni policor ku refugjatët për herë të parë u drejtuan dhe për neve ishte shumë njerëzore dhe humane që fillimisht i dilnim në ndihmë në mënyrën tonë. Pastaj, në ndërkohë, filluam dhe të informohemi për gjendjen e tyre dhe filluam të ndihmojmë atyre me shumë gjëra materiale ushqimore dhe pak a shumë me një informacion sa neve kishim në atë kohë.
Ajo çfarë duhet të vlerësohet, domethënë atë krizë, veçanërisht domethënë këtu në Prešev, janë pikërisht domethënë banorët e qytetit të Preševës. Pse? Kishte njerëz që bizneset e tyre i kishin kthyer në vend strehimore për ata. Kishte edhe shumë njerëz që gatuanin gjëra të ndryshme ushqimore për të siguruar domethënë ushqim. Pasi që di se shumica atyre kishin me ditë që nuk kishin ngrënë ushqim dhe kur vinin këtu ishin të lodhur, të raskapitur. Ishte diçka një tmerr në ato kohë, në ato fillim të krizës së refugjatëve, pasi nuk kishin asnjë ndihmë nga askush, për vetëm se nga qytetarët e vendeve ku ata ustronin përkohësisht.
Që nga fillimi deri në përfundimin e rrugtimit tyre, rrugtimit dhe të krizës refugjatëve në Prešev, afërsisht kanë kaluar diku 1 milion refugjatë, përgjithsisht nga shteti i Sirisë, sigurisht nga Afganistani, Iraku dhe Irani.
Nëse duhet të ndihemi krenar si vend, si qytet, është pikërisht kjo krizë që ndodhi me refugjatë. Pasi që mund të them lirisht se ishim shembull për të gjithë për mikpritjen që ja kemi bërë refugjatëve në çdo aspekt. Duke i ndihmuar me gjëra ushqimore, në veshmbathje, në strehim, pra në çdo gjë. Për këtë duhet të ndihemi krenar.
Gjatë asaj kohë kam qenë aktiv 6 ose 7 muaj, përafërsisht aty. Dhe pas asaj kohe, sigurisht, unë kam vazhduar profesionin tim. Sot jam student i stomatologjisë, edhe sigurisht jetoj me ndjenjen dhe me krenarinë që kam qenë dhe kemi qenë gatshëm që t'i ofrojmë ndihmën tonë si qytetarë të Preševës gjithë atyre refugjatëve që kaluan gjatë asaj kohe.
Pasi u mbyllën kufit për refugjatët, radhe dukshëm numri i refugjatëve në Prešev, u mbyllën edhe aktivitetet tona. Ka qenë një kënaqësi dhe eksperiencë pa përshkrueshme të ndihmosh atyre njerëzve. Kam qenë dhe jam shumë e lumtur që dhe sot kam akoma kontakte me shumicën e atyre. Flasim shumë shpesh dhe jam e lumtur që kanë nisë një jetë të re edhe ju uroj shumë fat dhe sukses në jetë.
Gjatë asaj kohe, unë mendoj që për Preševën ka qenë sa e dhimbshme gjendja e refugjatëve, po aq edhe e mirë për arsye se ka ndikuar shumë në mentalitetin tonë dhe në bindjet për humanitetin, domethënë për drejtat e njerëzit, për arsye se kemi pas shumë lloj-llojshmëri njerëzish, sigurisht, dhe ka pas shumë dhimbshmëri mes tyre dhe kjo ka qenë një ndër arsyet më të forta që neve i kemi dalë në ndihmë. Pavarësisht se Preševa është një vend i vogël dhe me një dobësi ekonomike dhe sociale, kjo ka qenë pjesa më e mirë dhe koha më e mirë që njerëz të reflektonin dhe të dilnin në ndihmë dhe të harronin gjitha këto probleme që momentalisht i ka ky vend.
If you hate queues, this story may upset you. The first queue that we saw today was one of buses, glinting between turnip fields on the Serbian-Macedonian border. More than 100 waiting to drive to the next border, the one with Croatia, the gateway to the European Union. And these are the passengers. Please go back, please. The other queue of the day. The one that is the stuff of nightmares. For him, for her, for them. All 9,000 of them. And that's just today, in one small town in the morning. We all know what that feels like. But not in a place like this. Waking up on a cold bed of dirt to yet another day of filth. Some of the morning routines linger as if by instinct, but most of these people can't even remember the last time they slept in their own beds, let alone their own homes. Time for the business of the day, the only business of every day, queuing up. This time for Serbian transit papers. We met many veterans of the queue and the road, like student Bayan Mazri from Damascus.
2012.
2012. So you have already been on the road for 3 years.
In Jordan, and then to Turkey, and then Greece, Macedonia, and then here.
And why don't you stay in Jordan or Turkey?
Because you cannot work or study or go out.
And if Germany or Britain or Sweden sends you back, they send you back again, what will you do?
I will try.
You'll try again.
We will try again. All Syrian people now live on the faith of God.
You all live on the faith of God. The panic of not advancing fast enough in the queue, of being separated from your loved ones, of getting left behind. That is the perennial trauma of the refugee existence. And children are the most prized bargaining chips of the queue, a ticket out of the immediate crush. Ekshit, a local volunteer, tries to comfort one boy who's lost his mother.
They think they're gonna separate them, you know, that's what they're afraid of. All the time I need to explain them they're gonna just get together in the camp.
Do you expect things to quieten down now that we have winter approaching?
No, I don't. I think more until the war stops, everything's gonna get worse every day.
Until the war stops?
Yeah, until.
Well, that's not going to happen anytime soon.
I know. So this is what we deserve, you know. We do there, we get here.
So a lot of these people, most of these people think they're going to end up in Germany or in Sweden.
Yes,
but the Swedes and the Germans are beginning to shut down as well.
Yeah, but the hope never dies. They are never going to stop hoping. And that's going to keep them pushing.
Ivan Arifi, local activist of youth office all those time from when refugees started to come in Preševo. After that, owning a local NGO called Youth for Refugees. In the beginning, we started to find a solution for finding free places for them to sleep, because all those time we didn't have a camp or other place to accommodate them. It was started like a local activist with our neighbors in Preševo, city where in 3 years was crossing more than 1 million refugees from eastern states, mostly from Syria, then Afghanistan. In beginning of the situation, the number of them was not very big, but in the summer of 2015, it started to come maybe daily about 10,000 people, which was crossing through Preševo, which is small city with 25,000 citizens, local citizens, and coming here about 10,000 refugees in one day was big, huge problem for local citizens. Also, in the beginning was only local activists, but after, when the states or Commissariat for Refugees, also another NGOs started to be in Preševo, they opened one-stop center, which was like a camp. And after that, we started to have a lot of international refugees, also and local activists, and more other NGOs started to come and to work in field. We think that we did was giving a shelter for them, also distributing clothes and food, which in one night started to come, which I said before, 12,000 people on a night. We needed to have mostly water for them, shelters, because capacity inside the camp was only for 1,000, and we get more people daily. Then we added a 24 hours volunteers on field in village Miratovac, which is near the border with Macedonia, also inside a camp in Preševo, where are 7 kilometers difference, and we added a transportation of people from Miratovac to here, which was free from our NGOs. Also, then we added on-field shelter in 3 shifts, about 10 people, volunteers, local and internationals together, which was working with the buses and taxis, legal taxis and buses to transport them in a border with Hungary, then Croatia, which is about 600 kilometers, but they needed to pay for that transportation. Depend of the situation, we started to find some, in beginning, free houses near the police station, where they first came. After that, we get some shelters from the international NGOs to have a place for them, and after that they opened a camp for 1,000 people, but because no one wanted to stay here, it was like a reception center of them to get registered, because Preševo was the first city, let's say, in Europe where refugees and migrants was registered one by one, and the capacity of our police and Serbian institution was going low, and the field was always so with many people, and they needed to be outside waiting for that paper to be registered more than 1 day, or sometimes 2-3 days. And our staff was there 24 hours in three shifts with 10 people to distribute them first water and also information where they are, where they need to go, because at that time was like legal to cross through Serbia for Europe, and the place where they wanted to go always was most Germany and other cities or countries through Europe. The situation with a huge number of people in Preševo, I mean refugees, was about 6 months, because in the December or in the beginning of January 2016, Europe closed the border for them, and then the number of people coming in Preševo or crossing through this Balkan route was going not more than 200-300 daily, which one day was all closed in the beginning of March. After that, we opened we started other activities, which was starting a school for like a high school for the children and youngers, opening one coffee bar and like international internet center, which for them we distributed free coffee, tea, sandwiches, and internet for them to have a contact. Also, we opened one cinema inside the camp. We own it, like, let's say, inside the camp, one mostly sport activities and sending the refugees or migrants, youngers of them, through the city of Preševo to our local bars or restaurants, just to let them to feel comfortable in our city. Now, when I think the situation of that time and now, I hope that, because it was difficult times and bad feelings about them, and I hope that they are now in the freedom places through Europe or in the places that they feel free. So I would like to have maybe all those people in Preševo again, but like a tourist, and not anymore like refugees or migrants in our country or in Preševo.
Drilon Ismaili, I'm 17 years old, and I'm a volunteer at Youth Office. I was a freshman year at high school, and I didn't know what was going on, but I knew that they needed help, and we were there to help them. Yes, I saw that, and I was a freshman year at high school, and I was young, and I didn't know what was going on, but I knew that they needed help, and we were there to provide that. The first activity that we did was helping them to get comfortable at their camp, which we went there and made new friends, made them feel The first activity was that we went there and tried to make them feel comfortable and made them feel welcome here, which we made a lot of new friends. Then after that, we welcomed them in Preševo, and we showed them our beautiful city. At first, I don't think people really, I don't think they were comfortable with them around, but as the time passed, they got comfortable and they were starting to feel better around them and were nicer to them. I think everyone is welcomed everywhere because we're all humans and we need to respect ourselves, and first of all ourselves and then other people, and not respecting or judging the refugees is a really bad thing to do, and I don't like that. I wouldn't do it for myself, and I hope my citizens wouldn't do it too. Be kind to them because right now they are in a war, and they are trying to help themselves. This is not for fun. This is all they have. You need to be kind to them, welcome them, and make them feel loved because this is all they have right now. Around that time we were, may I say, around 10 people, and yeah, my family supported me to support them because they also knew that they needed help. But yeah, everyone told me that you're doing really good and you need to help them. Not you, but we all need to.
I am Idro Seferi and I'm a journalist based in Belgrade. Back then I was working for a short time some videos in Preševo, and then one morning I used to rent this house where it had a garden and it was close to the street, and I woke up and then I saw many people sleeping in my garden and I didn't know what's going on. So I decided to ask some people and they told me that refugees are coming here. And in the beginning I knew about this thing going on because many months before it started in April, I was going there near Subotica, which is on the border with Hungary, chasing for a priest who used to help Muslims. He was a Protestant priest, and I made a story, but back then as a journalist I couldn't tell it very well because people didn't think this was a real issue. And all this story was happening a few months later with people sleeping in this garden, and then later when I confirmed what happened, some friend, Valdon Arifi, called me and he wanted to promote that they are trying to make some help for refugees. So he asked if I could make a story, and then we filmed it and we broadcast it, and some people suddenly started calling because activists here were only a few and they were having very limited supplies to give to them, maybe like 200, 300 bottles of water, and not much help. And back then also was sort of illegal because as everywhere in Europe, also state of Serbia and other people didn't know what is going on and how is this going to develop. So it was sort of illegal to transport them or any kind of thing. So they had to walk some 10 kilometers from when they would enter the border to a checkpoint and to a one-stop center, which mostly was giving them documents. Many nights people were sleeping in the streets then. It was not only once happening, and all of a sudden all the story was developing a sort of in a disaster and very much pain and suffering. Sometimes it was raining and they were lying down there with babies. So an issue of activism really helped. For me, this was very sad because I used to be a refugee after Kosovo War, so I also stopped for a while doing my work and trying to help to make supplies. Preševo, it's not a big town where you can find many things, so it's more or less you have to make these meals and everything that they gave. There was very much need for blankets, and because also later in the nights it started to being cold because Preševo it's near mountains, so a lot of people started helping, and I tried to help, was more like a support to activists, because sometimes in this road they were having troubles with also people who probably were smugglers or other kind of things, and we and also many friends from media tried to go there and make aware authorities what is going on, and also show this very sad pictures to the world. It was nights when you could just like go in the street and they were walking like from a rally toward this village streets, and very often they had injuries. They have been mistreated in the borders before, and the situation here was, at least in that kind of issue, was different, because also the police and authorities, they organized then very fast, and in a month or two this was being a system, although most of them were really just transiting toward Hungary, Croatia and other borders. I have been in all these places, also in Hungary and Croatia and in borders of Serbia, to report this, but the saddest part was of course Preševo, because you see them sort of coming into a country after probably walking for days and all these things. So it was very, I think, devastating for them, and not so easy, because they were so many, so no authorities or no groups could treat them and their needs all the time. And this was, I think, this brought to a town where activism as such organized didn't exist, and then many people came toward youth activists in Preševo, and there were like 200 or 300 foreigners who came from all over Europe to help, and people who gave everything to try to make these people who were coming more comfortable. Also, I can remember that people that called also me and other people who were actually donating, They helped quite a lot the situation, because some people closed their shops in Western Europe, their working places, and they decided to personally come and get involved. So this was a huge action of showing some humanity toward them, at least in some places.